If only your phone showed that, right? But your phone shows you going from 420 Chestnut Hill Road to the woods off of Greer Road. Isn't that what happened, sir?
No.
After you killed Anitra and you put her in the trunk, and you're at the gun store and you're still trying to figure out what to do with her, and her friend is calling you and harassing you and pissing you off, as you said in your text message, and you made the decision at that point in time you had to do something with her body, isn't that what happened?
No, ma'am.
Isn't it just like your phone says, that at you went back to 420, you told Javon, go on, Sierra's gonna come get me, and you got back in Anitra's car, and you drove it over ditches and trees, causing the bumper to fall off, causing everything else to break apart, and you dumped your soulmate like garbage in the middle of the woods, didn't you, sir?
No, ma'am.
Just like your phone said you did. And then you drove back down her beaded car with the missing bumper and the missing wheel well, and you dumped her car just like you dumped her at the corner of Bell and Montrose, didn't you, sir?
No, ma'am.
Just like your phone said you did.
No, ma'am.
So your phone is lying.
A 22-year-old college senior spent the night at her boyfriend's aunt's house in Fort Valley, Georgia, and never made it back home. By the time her family started trying to reach her, the messages coming from her phone did not sound like her.
So at 1:36, DeMarcus is indicating the fact that he actually went by her house and didn't see her, correct?
Yes.
All right. All right.
While her car was found abandoned on a random street with the front bumper ripped off, the last person to see her alive was across town, texting other women, making plans for his evening, acting like he had no idea where she was. This is Crime on Pulse. Before we get into it, leave a like, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Crime on Pulse so you won't miss the next case. Anitra LaShay Gunn was born on November 6, 1997, in Camp Hill, Alabama. She grew up in eastern Alabama, singing in the choir at New Canaan Baptist Church from the time she was young. Around 2013, her family relocated to Atlanta, Georgia, where she attended Westlake High School in Fulton County and graduated in 2016. After that, she enrolled at Fort Valley State University, where she majored in visual and performing arts. She sang in the university's concert and gospel choirs. Outside of school, she worked part-time as a server at 1836 Restaurant and Lounge in Fort Valley.
The first thing about Anitra that hit me was her smile. I don't know if you've heard that, but her smile will light up a room. I was just talking to her a couple of weeks ago. She's graduating, and I was asking her, hey, what you doing after graduation? How long am I going to have you? Because I'm always trying to keep them around. I was doing paperwork over the weekend, and I saw her paycheck. We got paid last week. She was supposed to get a paycheck on Friday, like everyone else.
Also on that shift was Brittany Gay, who says she and Gunn were close friends.
When you come to work, it's so good to be able to come to work and be able to talk to coworkers past work. You're comfortable talking about your everyday life, just personal stuff. Praying for strength to get through the shift. Usually we praying to have a good day here, period. Just we want to have a good day. It's all about the customer, but today it was just and not saying nobody wants to come to work, but it's hard.
In 2014, she lost her mother. After that, her father, Christopher, raised her and her younger brother, and the two of them grew incredibly close. By early 2020, Anitra was a senior with the finish line in sight. She had job interviews lined up and her whole future ahead of her. DeMarcus Devonte Little was also in his early 20s at the time and was also from Fort Valley. He and his twin brother Jamarcus were raised by their father, stepmother, and an aunt who was heavily involved in their upbringing. Outwardly, DeMarcus appeared to have things together. He joined the United States Army in 2016 and reached the rank of Sergeant E5 in just 3 years, stationed at Fort Eisenhower in Augusta, Georgia, where he worked as a unit supply specialist. Anitra and DeMarcus connected through a mutual friend in the fall of 2019. On the surface, things looked fine. He had a steady career and a rank behind his name. But the people closest to Anitra were seeing something very different, and it did not take long. By September of 2019, arguments were already a pattern. Anitra reportedly told friends she felt controlled and manipulated in the relationship. On November 1st, 2019, she sent him a message stating that they needed to stop talking entirely because every time they did, she ended up feeling used. But he did not accept it. Instead of walking away, he threatened her. He went silent for hours while she reached out to check on him out of concern. Days later, he found out Anitra had been in contact with another man. She had exchanged numbers with someone and had him over a couple of times. When DeMarcus found out, he reportedly offered to pay someone $200 to hurt that man. This was on her birthday in November 2019. From November through January of 2020, the back and forth continued. She would block him across every platform. He would find another way back in. He accused her repeatedly of being with other men, pretended to be her on social media, and told her his patience had limits. Throughout all of this, Anitra had a best friend named Sierra Stewart, who she confided in constantly.
On the time that DeMarcus showed up while you were on the FaceTime with Anitra, what do you remember?
I remember him coming and she's like confused as to why he was there unannounced, and her going to the door, just like asking me and stuff, and he wouldn't. So she'll tell me like she'll come right back. So that's all I know.
Okay. So I want to make sure, because you kind of got a little soft on me. I know we're talking about a person that's no longer here and that makes you sad, but I want to make sure everybody can hear you, okay? You're on the FaceTime with her and DeMarcus showed up. The communication that you had on FaceTime indicated that she was not expecting him.
Yes.
And what did you see her do in response to him being there unexpected?
Go to the door and ask him why he's there. And after that, that's when we hung up.
Have you ever been on FaceTime with her and heard DeMarcus outside the house yelling for her?
Yes.
And while you were on FaceTime with her and you could hear DeMarcus yelling for her, was Anitra ignoring him?
No, she was just telling me to leave.
To leave.
Yeah.
Around 3 in the morning, on February 5th, 2020, Anitra's tires were slashed, and bricks came through 2 windows at her home on West Church Street. This was not even the first time her tires had been targeted. That particular night, a man named David Howard, who went by Scoot, was at her house. Scoot was a barber who lived just a few doors down on Neal Street and could see her front door from his yard.
I don't know how long she was working there. I just seen her like a couple times out there, you know. I really didn't know her then. We were conversating. I didn't give her number off Snapchat or something. She gave me a number off Snapchat.
All right. So off Snapchat, she gave you her telephone number and you two began to communicate with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember about when that was?
It probably just had hit February, like right at February.
And so the beginning of February of 2020?
Yeah.
Now, when you and Anitra before you and Anitra began to talk at the beginning of February 2020, had you ever been inside Anitra's house?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Had she ever invited you over before February 2020?
Mm-hmm.
Before the beginning of February 2020, did you have any kind of relationship with Anitra?
You said before?
Yes, before.
No.
When police arrived, Anitra told them she did not know who was responsible. Despite everything going on, she kept showing up, working, and stayed focused on getting to graduation. On the evening of February 13th, Anitra attended a house party. DeMarcus was also there, along with his close friend Javon Abram and a woman named Tracy King. Around 11 o'clock that night, Anitra left the party with DeMarcus, Javon, and Tracy. Javon dropped Tracy off first, then drove Anitra and DeMarcus to Anitra's place on West Church Street so she could get her car. From there, the two of them drove to a local Waffle House, arriving around 2 in the morning on February 14th. They stayed about 30 minutes. After that, they drove to DeMarcus's aunt's house at 420 Chestnut Hill Road in Fort Valley, where they spent the rest of the night. His aunt was a nurse who worked multiple jobs and regularly pulled double shifts. That night, she had worked from early morning straight through, clocking out and arriving home somewhere between 2:30 and 2:45 in the morning.
When you got back home, did you have to unlock and get into your home?
Yes.
Okay. And was Jerome home at this time?
No.
Where was he?
On the road.
On the road. So was it just you there at the house when you arrived?
Yes.
And tell us, having worked 2 shifts, what did you do when you got home?
Actually, I went to start preparing for the next day because I had told my students that because I was teaching a certified nursing class and they were getting ready to take their state exam the next week. So some of them wanted me to come and assist them with practicing their skills. So I was trying to get ready because I had told them that I would do it. And I was trying to get ready so I can get ready for bed so I can get up to go back to the Oaks to assist them.
And what time were you supposed to be back at the Oaks?
I told them 8 o'clock, but I kind of like overslept a little bit, so.
So you had gotten back to your house at 4:20, somewhere between 2:30, 2:45,
Yes.
and you had told them, I'll be back at the Oaks by 8.
Mhm.
Is that yes?
Yes.
All right. All right, so you're getting together your stuff for, I'd say the next day, but just when you wake up, because technically you're still in the same day. And where in the house did you go to get your items ready for the next day?
I went to my laundry room to find me a uniform to wear.
All right. And while you were in the laundry room, did you see anything?
My laundry room, my washing machine, dryer, clothes.
What a trick question I brought you. Did anybody come to the house while you were in the laundry?
Yes.
Okay, all right, tell me how you knew somebody had gotten to the house.
I heard a noise outside, and I went to the door, and I heard talking, and so I went to the door, and I have an oval glass door. I looked up on it, and I saw it was Anitra and DeMarcus. So I opened the door.
So you opened the door, and you said you saw Anitra and DeMarcus. You recognized Anitra,
Yes.
and of course you recognized DeMarcus.
Yes.
All right. I know I'm asking about 2 years ago, but do you remember what Anitra was wearing?
She had on a tan top, like a see-through top, and some real short blue jean shorts.
So she had shorts on and like a sequin top.
Yes.
All right. And when you open the door and you see that it's Anitra and DeMarcus, what do you do then?
She spoke and said, hey, and I said, hey, and I went on back to the laundry room.
And from the laundry room, if somebody is coming in through that door with the oval window in it, can you see where they go in your house?
Yes.
Okay. And did DeMarcus and Anitra come into your house?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you see where they went?
Well, Anitra stopped at the laundry room where I was, and she said, I spoke to you, and I said, I heard you. I said, you doing all right? And she said, yeah. DeMarcus went on back to the bedroom, the last bedroom on the left.
And did you see where Anitra went after she spoke to you?
After she spoke to me, she went back.
Now, the next, I keep saying the next morning, it's the same morning. Did you, after you spoke to Anitra and saw DeMarcus, what did you do next?
I got my uniform, things that I needed, and went to my bedroom to get ready to take a shower and get ready for bed.
She left for work again at 8:30 that morning and saw nothing unusual when she did. That was the last confirmed sighting of Anitra Gunn alive.
This is the last place she was seen Thursday night about 11:30.
Okay.
The aunt confirmed she was here with her boyfriend. It's the last place she was seen. So what we're doing today is basically we're fixing to search this house to make sure there's nothing there that we need to see. And we're just going to start from here and work our way out. I don't, we've got the GSP helicopter flying the woods, just looking for anything we can find. Right now, everybody that knew her is a person of interest until we kind of whittling that list down.
Has the boyfriend been questioned?
Yes, ma'am.
He's not in custody, is he?
No, ma'am.
That same morning, Sierra woke up to a string of messages from Anitra's number. They had come in before Sierra was even awake. When she read through them, something felt immediately off. The messages talked about linking up with someone described only as an older acquaintance, then walked it back, mentioned still being with DeMarcus, then brought up going to see Scoot. The tone and content did not sound like Anitra. After those messages, Anitra went completely silent. Scoot was having his own unsettling experience that same morning. He had accidentally left a second phone at Anitra's house during an earlier visit and sent her a message asking if she had seen it. What came back was strange. The number said she was heading over and asked him to send his location. But the thing is, Scoot lived a few doors down. She could literally see his front door from her own driveway. There was no reason to ask for his location or offer to drive over.
When you got this message, in addition to the other messages that you've gotten, are you continuing to believe that this is still not Anitra?
Well, the first time I got the tidbits, I knew it was and like this right here clarified.
All right, we can keep going. All right. Now this is your response back. What do you say? And yes, you can cuss.
I don't know what the fuck y'all got going on. I'm not the one to be playing with. I said that because whoever that was, they went never answer my question. It kept like it like you texting me, but you're trying to figure out who I am at the same time. You know? So that's why I said that.
He told whoever was on the other end he wanted no part of it. While standing outside on Neal Street, he noticed a black Toyota Corolla with red pinstripes pass by. Then it came back again and again, circling the block around 5 times. Scoot wrote down the plate number and reached out to Sierra. DeMarcus told investigators that Anitra had left the aunt's house at around 11:30 that morning, fully dressed, heading to a job interview. But Anitra's interview was scheduled for 9:30 that morning. If she left at 11:30, she was already 2 hours late. And her clothing, her wig, her shoes, all of it was still at the aunt's house. According to DeMarcus, she walked out completely put together, but her things were still there. His phone said something else entirely.
You all were called in an investigative and assisting capacity. What's your role now?
Our role now is we're working the crime scene, collecting the evidence, sending evidence to the lab to be processed and examined, and we'll have somebody at the autopsy whenever it's completed or performed. That way we can get information from that.
What would they be looking for in this autopsy?
Be cause of death, manner of death, the typical stuff we look for in an autopsy.
Timeline on when that might be completed?
No, sir.
He had texted Javon the words, "I'll be back," suggesting he left the house at some point that morning. Cell data placed him away from 420 Chestnut Hill Road during a critical window between approximately 11:30 and 12:15 in the afternoon. That same window was exactly when Scoot was watching the Corolla circle his block and receiving messages from Anitra's number asking what he looked like and exactly where he was standing. DeMarcus was also texting multiple other women that morning, making plans for the evening. On the same morning his girlfriend could not be reached, he was arranging his night with someone else. At 12:18 in the afternoon, his phone placed him heading toward a local pawn shop. Sierra reached out, asking him to return Anitra's phone. He responded, asking what she was talking about, then passed along his number. At 12:57, he told Sierra he was driving to Anitra's house to check on her. But phone data placed DeMarcus in the woods off Greer Road, near the Peach-Crawford County line, during the 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock hour, not at her house. Anitra's 2013 white Chevy Cruze was found on Bell Avenue, not far from her home. The front bumper was gone. Mud and debris covered the tires. Her wallet and keys were inside, but her phone was not.
Did you ever find the other piece of the bumper?
No, ma'am. We're still looking for the white bumper. So if anybody in the community, I mean, this is still very much an active investigation. We're still wrapping up, following up, processing, have evidence at the crime lab to be looked at. And if that bumper can be found, that would be nice.
During questioning, DeMarcus told investigators that Anitra had accidentally shared her location with him the day before.
All the way back to 1, and then we pick back up at 2:20, and those cache locations show correctly going to Target, Walmart, your dad's house, staying there, and then coming back to 6:02, correct?
That's where I went, as well.
Okay. So every single cache location that we just talked about accurately showed where you were.
That was my whereabouts where I went, where I drove, yes, ma'am.
So those same cache locations show at 103, you driving on Tanglewood Road, headed toward Greer Road. Is that correct?
No, ma'am.
So your phone went offline at that point?
I know where I went.
And then those same cache locations, which were right from noon until 1 o'clock and from 2:20 for the rest of the day, they then show you in the woods off Greer Road, correct?
No, ma'am.
They don't show you there?
I wasn't in the woods.
No, that wasn't my question. My question was, do those cache locations, which you just testified were absolutely accurate with regards to your whereabouts between 12 and 1 and 2:20 to the rest of the night, those same cache locations show you in the woods off Greer Road, don't they?
Those are inaccurate.
Just those?
Yes.
Because if they were accurate, sir, they would show you standing next to the body of your soulmate, wouldn't they?
No, ma'am.
Because if those were accurate, then those same cache locations, beginning about 147, show you coming down into Fort Valley to the intersection of Bell and Montrose. What were you doing there?
When me and Jay Ron got back to my auntie house from the pawn shop, we went looking for Anitra, and I hopped out on foot, and he drove around.
And your friend, your best friend, your man who couldn't be closer to you than blood, came into this court and testified that you told him to go look for Anitra, and he left from 420, and you said Sierra was coming to pick you up. Is that right?
You know, we both left my auntie house to go look for Anitra, just like he testified. It was just like the statement he gave to the state.
What are his first statements?
His first 2 statements.
Right. So testify and statement, 2 different things. Let's talk about what he testified to when he came into court and he raised his hand and he gave a very emotional description of that day. He said, and you tell me if I'm wrong because you're in here, he said, no, when we get back from the pawn shop, my friend, my best friend, tells me, go look for Anitra. Sierra's coming to pick me up. Isn't that what he testified to?
I think that's what he said.
Okay. And then he said that he actually called you, and I guess that's what I'm trying to figure out. If y'all are together, why is he calling you if you're in the same car?
I said I hopped out on foot and went walking, so he don't know my location, so he has to call me to see where I'm at.
Okay, well, he called you almost regular contact with you between 1 and 2. When did you hop out?
I can't remember the exact time I hopped out, but I hopped out the car.
All right. Well, if at 1:08 y'all are still together, why is he trying to FaceTime you?
To see where I'm at.
But you didn't leave the house until 1 o'clock.
I don't remember what time we left. I know we left.
Did you get out on Tanglewood?
I don't remember what road I got on. I know I got out the car.
I mean, did you walk from 420? I'm trying to figure out when were y'all separated?
We left the house together, and I can't remember what road I hopped out on, because I'm not from Fort Valley.
You're not from Fort Valley?
No, ma'am.
You haven't lived here?
No, I haven't lived here.
You didn't live with your aunt for a period of time?
When I came to visit.
Are you telling this court and this jury you didn't actually live with your aunt?
Yeah, I lived in 8th grade, but I'm not from Fort Valley. I don't know the roads. I wasn't driving. I don't know my whereabouts. I go to school and I come home.
And directed them to where he said her phone could be found. Officers checked, but that location was wrong. Her phone was recovered from inside a drainage pipe, in a completely different location from where he had pointed them. On the trunk and inside the car, investigators found DeMarcus's fingerprints and palm prints. Now, prints inside a car from someone who was in a relationship with her would not be enough alone. But layered on top of everything else, the timeline, the location data, the missing bumper, the strange messages, investigators were already locked in on one person. That evening, Anitra's father, Christopher, drove from Atlanta to Fort Valley after being unable to reach her. When he arrived and could not find her, he first requested a welfare check. Police found she was not home and saw no immediate sign of a struggle at the house. Christopher then filed a missing persons report, and the search began. On February 16th, a full organized search launched. Fort Valley State University students came out in numbers. The Fort Valley Department of Public Safety, the Peach County Sheriff's Office, the Fort Valley State University Police, and the Georgia Bureau of Investigation all joined the effort. By February 17th, a formal task force had been assembled, pulling in the Bibb County District Attorney's Office, the Georgia State Patrol, and law enforcement from surrounding areas. Aviation units swept the woods and open fields. The university released a public statement urging anyone with information to come forward.
I really take pride in it because she's a sister. She's a fellow of Fort Valley State University, and you know, I wouldn't want nobody not to look for me if I went missing. Okay? It's simple.
That same day, Christopher reportedly received a phone call demanding $8,000 in exchange for information on his daughter. By February 18th, Crime Stoppers had posted a reward. An anonymous tip had placed DeMarcus on a property in Taylor County in the days following Anitra's disappearance, and search teams extended into that area. A Peach County Sheriff's deputy on patrol near the Peach-Crawford County line spotted a path off the main road that looked disturbed, like a vehicle had pushed through it toward the tree line. So he followed it in. About 150 yards into the woods, he found a piece of a front bumper, the kind that matched a 2013 white Chevy Cruze. And nearby, partially covered with branches and sticks, was a person. At approximately 3:20 in the afternoon on February 18th, 2020, Anitra LaShay Gunn was found.
At approximately 3:20 p.m., the body of Anitra Gunn was discovered in a wooded area off of Greer Road in Crawford County, Georgia. At that point, the Crawford County Sheriff's Department became part of this task force. Numerous leads have been followed, witnesses interviewed, and searches executed during this investigation. During the investigation, enough information was developed that gave us probable cause to obtain an arrest warrant charging DeMarcus Little with malice murder.
On February 19th, Christopher posted a statement. "Thank you to all who helped search and post and call and pray for Anitra's return. We are processing the devastating news and kindly ask for respect and privacy during this time as we wrap our hearts and minds around all of this. Please continue to pray for us, as there are no words to describe this hurt." The medical examiner determined she had been struck at least once, and that there were marks on her body consistent with a struggle. Within hours, DeMarcus Little was taken into custody, initially charged with criminal damage to property tied to the February 5th incident. On February 25th, 2020, a Peach County grand jury returned an indictment against DeMarcus Little, charging him with malice and felony acts resulting in loss of life, aggravated assault, and concealing the loss of a life. But DeMarcus was not the only one charged. On February 26th, Javon Abram, his closest friend, was arrested on 2 counts of making false statements to law enforcement and 1 count of concealing the loss of a life.
He told you that he had poured his heart out to Anitra, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And that Anitra had laughed at him, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And that he had hit her,
Yes, ma'am.
and that he started to choke her,
Yes, ma'am.
and that she fought at first, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And then he said to you that it looked like she just gave up because she wanted to be with her mother,
Yes, ma'am.
and that's her mother who's dead.
Yes, ma'am.
Because Javon knew things he wouldn't have unless DeMarcus had told him, and as it turned out, he had. On February 24, 2020, Fort Valley State University's Student Government Association held a candlelight vigil in Anitra's honor at the C.W. Pettigrew Center Auditorium.
And ask that you would comfort, strengthen, and guide us.
Fort Valley State University professor Bobby Dickey says Gunn had 2 classes with him.
I spoke with her on Wednesday, and she was just excited this semester.
The crowd made their way outside of the restaurant. Co-workers released 23 balloons marking Gunn's age. Other Fort Valley students and friends released balloons of their own. Fort Valley Mayor Barbara Williams says the entire community is hurting.
We all like family, so it's like we have lost close kin.
A feeling that hit hard for former daycare co-worker Sandra Marshall.
I grew to love her and as one of my own children.
But they all say her memory will live on.
I thought she represented FVSU well.
On February 29th, Anitra's homegoing celebration was held at Greater Peace Baptist Church, 650 Jeter Avenue in Opelika, Alabama.
Stop singing. No, she hasn't stopped singing, she just changed choirs.
Gunn's closest friends, former school advisors, and members of her church family got to share their favorite memories of Gunn.
She basically showed me what it was to be a friend. She showed me that a bond is only as strong as its weakest link.
And as soon as I can walk in the door, I would hear that voice saying, "Welcome, Mel Williams, to 1836.
She was beautiful when I first met her. She loved to sing. We used to sing together all the time.
Childhood friend Deontay Nelson said he knew Gunn until she moved to Atlanta in 2013.
No matter how far she moved, friendship still was the same. And, you know, it kind of hurt knowing this is going to be my last time seeing her. But, I mean, God does everything for a reason.
Nelson said when he first heard she died, he was heartbroken.
Just tensed up, shaking, crying, didn't know what to do, couldn't sleep. But when I came here today, I feel 10 times better.
Following the service, she was laid to rest at New Canaan Baptist Church Cemetery in Camp Hill, Alabama. In the weeks that followed, people began using Anitra's name to solicit money online. Her father, Christopher, had to address it publicly. The trial began in March 2022 at the Peach County Courthouse, with jury selection starting on March 7th. Now, Javon's first 2 statements to law enforcement were lies. He had covered for DeMarcus. But eventually, he told the truth. On February 16th, 2020, 2 days after Anitra went missing, Javon and DeMarcus left church together and went for a drive. During that drive, according to Javon, DeMarcus told him everything. The cell data from both phones matched every movement Javon described. None of it lined up with anything DeMarcus had told investigators. Then came the moment DeMarcus took the stand in his own defense. The jury deliberated for 2 hours.
I'll ask the defendant to stand to receive the verdict. I'll ask the clerk to publish the verdict.
The Superior Court of Peach County, State of Georgia versus DeMarcus Devonte Little. The verdict is count 1, malice murder. We, the jury, find DeMarcus Devonte Little not guilty. For count 2, felony murder, we, the jury, find DeMarcus Devonte Little guilty. Count 3, aggravated assault, we, the jury, find DeMarcus Devonte Little guilty. This 15th day of March 2022.
All right, you may be seated.
Judge Connie Williford sentenced DeMarcus Little to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The day after the verdict, Christopher posted a photo of his daughter, celebrating the justice that had finally come. The world keeps spinning, and so does crime. Stay observant, listen to your instincts, and don't ignore the warning signs. I'll see you in the next case on Crime on Pulse. Thanks for watching.